Hollywood Matt Connolly normally takes care of the introductions here on the Arm Wrestling Tonight podcast. That's Arm Wrestling Tonight, 5 nights a week, half an hour dose of all things AWE. And the man on screen right now is our newly crowned AWE left hand heavyweight champion, Brad Coutts. Well, Brett, how does that feel? How does it feel
I love
being
it.
the heavyweight champion?
I should have put my belt on. I should be wearing my belt.
Oh, have you got it there somewhere?
I worked to the gym the Monday after, like a dickhead. Carried around the gym, packed out gym. Everyone was watching.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that is
good.
Fantastic. And does everybody in the gym know that you're an arm wrestler now? Is that
Pretty
was
much,
that something that was common knowledge beforehand?
No, it's the last couple of years. It's really getting more and more. The last 12 months, definitely more.
So before that, you were just this massive dude in the gym walking around, and people just like, oh yeah, he's a bodybuilder or something. Now you're Brett Coutts, the arm wrestler,
and the weirdo doing those strange lifts.
Yeah.
What are you doing that for?
Have you had any gym bros come up to you and say, "Hey, bro, that's not really how you do it. You wanna get a full range of motion"?
I don't get that much.
No, I can imagine. It'd take a pretty confident young man to come up to Brett Coutts and offer advice.
I don't do a lot of half curls, but
No.
Most of my gym work for arm wrestling is wrist, hand, back pressure, pronation. I don't do half curl. I don't know. I'm still stuck as a bodybuilder.
Yeah, I guess you've already got that base load power that most arm wrestlers are trying to develop, but you already have started off with that foundation. And so for you, it's just really making all of those little connections and the wrist and the hand kind of catch up with your overall physicality. So it'd be you're kind of operating in reverse to how most guys are going. So the dust is now settled on the AWE Grand Prix 3. You've walked away with the title belt. There was a lot of build up to the event. We've now had over 105,000 people make the way past our AWE Instagram account over the last 30 days in the build up to and post event activity. There's been a huge buzz online. The video's been very warmly received. I think we were 77 or 8,000 views when I last checked a little bit earlier on today in the first day or so of release, which is really remarkable. And have you had now a chance to kind of digest the whole situation and work through it? And how do you feel about it all now?
Really good.
Yeah.
Couldn't be happier. To be honest, I wasn't expecting quite such a battle. Mm-hmm. I thought once it stopped, I'd be able to pin him. Much easier than that was. That was a battle. It was good.
And you really prepared. It seemed your preparation was really good for this one as well. I know in previous events you've kind of almost got there, and there's been a twinge or a virus or something that's caught up with you just in the final days, kind of tripping you over almost at the finish line. But this prep seemed to go really well.
Yeah, it was much better. Much better. I think a week out, I just started, just deloading, just moving through the gym, just keep moving and babied myself.
Yeah.
But mentally, everything, I was in a better place. So
good. And we'll talk a little bit about the middleweight belt as well, because obviously you were there and in the corner of one of the contestants, the X Factor Nick Vella, who performed admirably, was a real surprise packet, but there was a few highlights for the day, and that video is getting released tonight at 11 p.m. Or 11:30 p.m. Eastern Seaboard time in Australia, and that's in the morning in the US. So as our fans in the US are waking up, they'll be able to just open up their YouTube channel and start to watch the event straight away. But I'd love to be able to bring up some of the video of your match, but I'm just struggling to do that without Hollywood Matt Connolly here. But I'm guessing you've seen the match now?
Yeah, of course. I saw it a week ago.
You did get a little sneak peek.
Yeah.
And did it feel like it looked to the rest of us? Okay.
No.
How was it different?
A lot worse.
Oh, it felt worse or it looked worse?
Felt worse.
Right.
I feel the video, I was always on, except for the start, I was always on the attacking side. After watching it, I didn't feel, even during, I didn't feel like there was any risk of getting pinned,
Mm.
but it was super hard to pin him.
Yeah.
But it felt terrible. It was horrible. It was the biggest, hardest battle of my life.
Well, it seemed you had you both had enormous amounts of back pressure. So almost the default was that you were both kind of really dragging hard. But it also seemed to me that Rick, without the height, you were taking away somewhat from his power and bringing him more into a plane that you seem to work very nicely. And you've got this uncanny ability to be able to pull yourself almost from outside your shoulder to inside into a press when you're in that horizontal
Mm.
plane, applying a massive amount of back pressure. So you've got all of those forces at play, and yet you're somehow able to more what's the word? More smoothly transition into that press. But how hard is that? Because you can see Rika wasn't able to do that, and I see a lot of athletes attempt to do that, but. That transition, is that something that comes naturally to you, or is that something that you've
It,
practiced in the lead up to the event?
it's just pure desperation. Like
Right.
there's no other way to go through that. Like it was the only way to pin him. So after the first round or first 2 rounds, then I was just setting it up, and
Mm.
I knew what I had to do. But the first round was pure desperation. I was like, I've got to finish this somehow.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how I arm wrestle. I arm wrestle a lot on lat and bicep and outside my shoulder. So as soon as I knocked him far enough, I just jumped on it.
Yeah, well, you picked your timing perfectly, and watching back that was the pattern. If you're winning out of applying that move out of desperation, but what was your plan going into that? Was your plan to come inside and to control him that way, and he was just applying too much back pressure, or was able to get you further away from your body than you planned?
After round one, my hand was gone.
Right.
So pretty much after that, I was hoping to keep hand, but there was just no way. So I
Hmm.
was pretty much just donating my hand and pronating backwards. So
Yeah.
just like this to stop the match. And then once I was in it, I was in it.
It seemed from the outside looking in and watching it again. I didn't really pick up this in the moment, although Matt Connolly seems to have sensed it at the time. Although you were gassed, and you seemed to pick up that Rick was maybe gassing a little bit quicker, and was more visibly exhausted after those, especially those first couple of rounds. And he did seem to want to take a little bit more time in between rounds and fouls, and spend a little bit more time over in the corner, chalking up his hands and getting some blood back into it. And yet you were right there on the table, like you were like, come on, let's go, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready.
I wasn't ready. I was not even close to it. I was just playing mind games. Like, if I come back to the table, he's going to think I'm healthy, and I wasn't. I
Right.
was, yeah,
But
I was
you
blown
didn't
up.
even in your breathing. Were you conscious of controlling your breathing so you weren't giving it away?
I was just trying to pretend I was in better shape than him, just to
Yep.
get in his head so he, because it was hard.
And I guess when you're competing against somebody who's maybe 25 years younger than you as well, and then to be kind of demonstrating, hey, I'm not tired. Why are you tired, young man?
Mm.
I am ready to go. It must have played on his mind to some degree.
I, I actually asked him how it feels to be beaten by someone like his dad's age. So,
Is he still calling you Uncle Brett?
yeah, I
That's
messaged him a few times. What was it? Early last week, and he said he couldn't straighten his arm for the week. So
wow.
I went to arm wrestling training Wednesday night. I didn't feel too bad. Then I pulled Sunday. Oh, I was in agony. So I'm good 100% now, but it was, yeah, I was sore.
Wow, wow. I guess lucky that Lachlan Carpenter match didn't transpire after all.
I probably would have been good to go, but I had to pay to get there. There was no money involved. Lachlan said he wasn't in great shape anyway.
Yeah,
So, well, why do it now? Let's do it when you're in good shape. So,
yeah, yeah. Well, he's a young man. He's got plenty of time as well. So it'd be great to see you both in great shape coming across the table from each other, preferably on an AWE table, of course.
yeah,
Um,
of course.
now we got a quick question in here already. Does Brett have any plans to compete at East versus West? So there has been some chatter after the videos come up that why aren't you logically on the biggest stages in the world? And I guess these are opportunities that might well come your way now.
I hope so. That's
Yeah.
well.
So
We've already got something else in the pipeline. But
indeed.
I'm already back in training, ready for that, ready for the next match, ready to. Then after that, the next thing.
Fantastic. Well, East versus West. So if Engan is watching, of course, the man on screen is always ready for whatever comes next. But it's great to see the arm wrestling world kind of wake up to the fact that Brett Coutts is world class, is truly elite, and on left hand is definitely a formidable force and deserves more opportunities, especially now he's back at the top of his game in every respect. Dominic Wren's comments, g'day Dave and Brett. G'day mate, I hope you're well. Congrats Brett, you did what you said you would do. But it was a
Thanks,
tough
man.
match. Rika tested you, which was good. And we touched on this last night in the podcast. Like as a promoter, when you're putting a match up, you kind of you hope that you get that type of
Mm.
competition, that where you've got two men that are fairly evenly pitted, and it's a test for both athletes. And I think that's certainly what happened on this occasion. Both you both well, you had to dig deep in order to win, and Rickett had to do absolutely everything he could and apply everything he knows in order to give himself a chance. But your experience on the table just was too great on the day.
Yeah, it was hard work, that's for sure. I don't know what else you can say about it. We were both desperate by the end of that. Like 4 rounds is a lot when they're going that long.
Yeah.
But generally, once I get into a match, if the match stops, I'm in with a shot.
Yeah.
Because generally, I outlast most people.
Yeah. And it was first to four match, and of course it was 4-0 in the end. But if anybody happens to watch that, watch the video on YouTube, and of course we do suggest you jump on and do that now. But it's a much closer match than what the score indicates. It's definitely, in every round is a war. It's a real treat for arm wrestling fans. Little question here: do you think John Brzenko will be back after back surgery?
Mm.
Yeah, who knows? He's the greatest of all time. I'm sure he'll be back in some capacity. It's probably going to be hard to keep him away from the table for too long. Will he be back and competing at the highest level? Well, I guess that's hard for any man at his age to do. But if he's able to, I'm sure we'll see him back. Does he need to prove anything? Probably not. Drew, wake
Definitely.
up! Indeed, where's the link to the video, Drew? We're waiting for you. He, surely he's not asleep. Surely not. Yeah, it was definitely a war, Dominic, for sure. And great match. The Aussie riser has chirped in and has followed up with Brett's left is nasty, crazy strong press too. Crazy strong press. Um, and I guess now it was an interesting one because Rickard has won the right hand title now on a couple of occasions. You've placed second on both of those occasions, and now the roles are reversed. It seems that whole discussion now in terms of who's number one and who's number two in the open weight category is very much you two occupy that. Number three is really who's maybe the next challenger on the scene is what's going to be hotly contested in the
Mm.
months to come. And who do you see in that gaggle who is maybe in that third to sixth ranking that might emerge to be a challenger in the next 12 or 18 months for either yourself or Farika?
Lachlan Carpenter's he's big now.
Hmm.
He's always dangerous. His left felt amazing last year I gripped up with him. Mario is always hard for me.
Hmm.
He's quick. Mario's very good. Um, Fatali is actually coming down later this year and has asked me for a match.
Ah,
He's going to be in Melbourne, so we'll see if that happens.
yeah.
Fatali's always good though. Who else is there?
Oh, well, Marcus Satiri has been in the mix there for a little while. But yeah, I
And
think you've covered
Andy, of
Andy
course.
Roskovsky. Yeah, very, very handy.
He's
Yeah.
probably at his peak that I've felt him now. It's probably the
Mm,
best I think he's ever been.
yeah.
Um, Yet, who else is there?
Yeah, well, I think you're going to Adam Laura is the name in the mix. But yeah, I think you've pretty much covered it. There's that there's that grouping of guys that are kind of third to seventh, really. That
Yeah,
any one of them, given the day and the preparation, is going to be really competitive. So it's going to be interesting to see how those guys, how that pecking order kind of works through. And a lot of people would say, well, Mario hasn't been tested in AWE since AWE 2. But of course, he's entered the international stage now, and is actually very difficult to get back to AWE because of his international
yeah,
commitments now. So we would dearly love to see him back in an AWE shirt very, very soon. But it really does come down to a whole range of factors. There's also rumors of a follow up event to Over the Top taking place
yeah,
later
yeah,
on this year, which is huge news. But details not yet announced and not yet confirmed. But wonderful for Australian arm wrestling. I'm sure we'll see some international talent make their way here with big
yeah,
prize money on the line as well. So there's a lot going on. AWE have their next event. We have that on June the 24th, which will be a huge event. Big announcements coming with respect to that very, very soon. And in May, we have Alex McKinnon and Tyler Harrison are the first of two matchups that'll be taking place on that card. Two big super matches, which both of those young men performed very, very well at AWE. So last event, AWE 2, and so it'll be very interesting to see how that goes. Does Brett think he can defeat Ryan Bowen at this point? I don't think Ryan's ever beaten you, has he?
never.
Ever?
Nah, the closest he's come was that pin in Marcus's shed, winning
Yes.
elbow fouled.
Yeah.
And not to say I'm not that arm wrestler now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, though Ryan's looking very good. It's the best physical shape I've seen him in.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I believe he's back up to about 100 kilos
mm,
now, and he's training very hard in the gym. Obviously,
not.
getting.
He's finally getting into really good shape. He looks healthy. He's not carrying fat. He's
Mm.
actually developing some arms, shoulders. He looks a lot better.
Yeah, yeah, it'd be interesting. I mean, it's been a little bit of a layoff since his last match up in at Knuckles Up in January, and he's used that time. I think since he's kind of blown out. I think he was meant to be competing at 85, kind of got somewhere in the
Yeah,
80s, bounced all the way back up to the mid to high 90s really quickly, and is now sitting quite comfortably, walking around at about 100 kilos and looking very, very strong, as you mentioned. So be very, very interesting to see what comes next for Ryan.
if if only he had listened about 4 or 5 years ago, we trained. He's like, I don't need to do this bodybuilding training. What is this? I don't have to do
Hmm,
bodybuilding, but the powerlifting, everything gets stronger. Now he's doing it, and he should get a lot stronger.
indeed, indeed. Yeah, look, if only you'd listened to, if only you'd listened
I
to.
did tell him.
Greg Yell is jumped into the chat as well. Evening Studs. Brett showed why he is the man.
Mm.
What an awesome AWE, awesome show. Thank you very much, Greg, and congratulations on your journey over to East versus West. Been following your page keenly and seeing some great photos. It looks like it was an absolute ball and a true arm wrestler's dream. So it looks like you definitely got to live it out over there, mate. And and well done to you. You're doing fantastic work over there. Christian Bosnowski from Canberra. Yeah, Christian Bosnowski. Yeah. Yeah, very strong, formidable.
Oz
He
is meant to
competed
be very good.
AWE one, I believe, as well. And strong guy. Yeah, some great emerging talent just sitting there. And of course, the arm historian who was just featured, I believe, in an exclusive interview with the Aussie arm wrestler just in the last few days. So certainly check out Aussie's YouTube channel, and you'll hear an in-depth discussion with the arm historian there. So always good to see you in the chat. Historian also says, I loved it, Brett, showing what a powerhouse he still is. So how old are you now, Brett?
Turning 48 in a few months. So still
Wow.
47.
Still 47.
Yeah.
Hold on to that for as long as you can.
No worries.
And so with 50 looming, do you feel like there's a use by date here, or do you just feel like you're
No.
still getting stronger and still the
Old
best
man
is yet to
now.
come? Old man
Old man
strength.
strength.
Watch out.
I'm getting stronger. I'm PBing everything. I'm stronger now than I was before the last AWE 2 weeks ago. My lifts are gone up.
Oh,
Not much, but I've already gone up on not on my arm wrestling because the elbows are just fresh, but all the gym lifts are on the way back up. So,
wow.
no. So
The
I've
best
never
is.
had this prep finished and then roll straight into another one and get better, then better, then better. It's always been up and down.
Yeah.
But hopefully by the next comp, I'll be substantially better.
Well, and so June is what you're preparing for now, is that right? The June
Yep.
event? Yep, so to be announced. We'll have more
Yep.
details. We'll have you back on the podcast to talk more about that. June, so a good eight or so weeks away, I guess. Is that about right?
I
What,
still
what
think
are
it's
we?
about 10.
10 weeks, so plenty of time. Yeah,
We're the
yeah,
4th of April, so Thanksgiving,
yeah.
12, 11 weeks.
Yeah. That
Plenty.
do you find that's a good time to be to have a rest and then start to build a camp from there? Like, do you
I
work on
was,
like an 8 week turnaround, or is 12 weeks better for you as time goes by?
I
What's
was
ideal?
planning on having a little deload kind of break in between,
Hmm.
but what do? You just keep going now. I'm back. 12 weeks I think is good because it gives you the last 3 or so weeks to taper off and just wrap yourself in cotton wool, not tear any lats or anything stupid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
I got a lot of physio this time too. I had physio every week for 5 weeks or so coming in. I think that definitely helped.
Yeah. So I guess for you now, your experience is now multifold in that you've got it's not just in the weights and how to train, it's now also in the preparation, the nutrition, it's in the recovery, it's in what's the right level of physio and remedial assistance to keep all the wheels in motion. It's the mind games and all of this, and against that backdrop, this isn't you having to compensate for a loss of strength, against the backdrop of you actually physically getting stronger with every day that's going by. So this is quite remarkable. So do you actually feel like you're the most effective arm wrestler you've ever been?
Yes, definitely.
Wow.
I learned things in that match with Rickard. I learned more again. I think you learn every battle like that. You learn something, especially when your hand blows out and you've got to do unusual things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I learned how to stop Rickard.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. The guys are just having a bit of a back and forth in the chat between Greg and Historian. Great stuff. Looking forward to the next vid. Of course, we all do. I think Greg speaks for us all. And um, uh, 47 Ronan, not exactly sure what that means. We'll awesome. Yeah, I bet it always takes a while after these trips. Again, there's just a bit of back and forth there between the guys. Totally East versus West taught me a lot. Hopefully the next comp will be in Australia at Over the Top. I think that's just picking up on the rumor mill there a little bit.
Mm.
So Greg's also caught wind of the event that's been planned here in Australia later on in the year. It's not an AWE event, but Phil Rasmussen's the man behind that one, and he was the man, the genius behind the return of big prize money arm wrestling in Australia after COVID, with the over the top event in Queensland, and this is the sequel. This is the follow up. This is the sequel to the sequel almost. So lots to look forward to. Big prize money, I believe, is going to be on offer as well. So lots to look forward to, and it'll certainly shine a big spotlight back on Australian arm wrestling and get some of the big names from around the world here, and a great opportunity for the local lads to test themselves against the best and maybe walk away with bucket loads of cash as well, much like Lachlan Adair did a year or two ago. So Brett, we're obviously looking forward to seeing you at the next AWE event, which will be in June. Again, it'll be in Adelaide, but it will be at the Adelaide Oval, which is
Nice.
the absolute mecca of sporting activity here in South Australia. One of those most recognisable sporting venues of the world, and I believe it's got a World Heritage listing now for its very special place that it holds in the sporting world. And of course, there's so we've got that. I don't know if we can make any further announcements at this time, but I've got to check it. I can't sometimes remember what I've said to in the chat and what I'm actually able to say publicly, but
Yeah.
I'll probably leave it there just in case I get myself in trouble. But but if you do, and if you have not yet seen this man in action against Rickert Borman and walking away with that beautiful AWE left-hand heavyweight title belt, then I do implore you to head over to the AWE Underground channel right now. The video is released. It premiered just a matter of maybe a day and a half ago. You can head over there and join the over 8,000 people that have done the same, and enjoy one of the great matches I think that you'll find in 2025. It is absolute action packed from go to woe, and you'll see 4 massive wars, and a real treat for arm wrestling fans. And Brett, thank you so much for being not just on the podcast, but for being our very first AWE heavyweight left-hand champion. It is an absolute honor to be part of the Brett Coutts legacy here at AWE, and it's a real joy to finally see you getting the recognition you deserve as an elite arm wrestler. And we look forward to you getting more and more of those comments on the video and in the streams saying, "Where's Brett? Why is he not at East versus West? Come on, England!
Yeah.
We've got to do something about that." And I can't wait for the day that we see you there on the big stage.
That'd be good.
Fantastic, mate. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you to everybody in the comments, and we look forward to bringing you more arm wrestling tonight next time. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Dave.
Bye.